After about half an hour of trying to find a place to sit to make one of these videos, I finally settled on this position. It's either this or the toilet. Hey guys, my name is Chris if you didn't already know, and welcome to a new video series I've decided to do. Not really sure how I'm going to title this video, something like my Scotland 2000 holiday, maybe? Basically all I'm going to do is tell you the story of that holiday, which was 21 years ago. And I went with my friend Martin. Now I've got no videos of this holiday, so all I'm going to be doing is showing pictures. Don't worry, I'll put them up here on the screen so you can see them better. I actually have shown some pictures of this holiday in my photographic memories videos, but I thought I only had so many pictures on my laptop, so I decided to get out my photo album where those pictures are, and it turns out there's a lot more than I thought. Don't worry, I'm not going to go through that. I've already put the ones that I want to show on here. And it's not just about showing the photos, I want to tell you about the holiday itself. So it was August of 2000. Me and my friend Martin had decided we were going on a camping trip up to Scotland. And at this point in my life I'd only been up once, and I was about 8 years old, so I don't really have much memory of that holiday. There are three things I do remember of that holiday though. The first was some rolling hills. You know, as we were driving, the hills were doing this. I believe that's the road going up to Edinburgh. The second memory, I was with my mum and she was trying to get me into this shop where they were selling kilts, and she wanted me to have a kilt, and I just ran away. I just like, nope, don't want anything to do with that. But the third memory was we were having a boat ride on Loch Ness. There was me, my brother Philip, my brother Tony wasn't born at this point, so there was my mum, my dad and my uncle Lee. I remember my parents were inside the boat, so it was just me, Philip and Lee out enjoying the views and whatnot. And it was at this point my uncle Lee turned around to us and said, "Oh look, there's Nessie." My brother Philip went screaming into the boat, like literally screaming. And for many, many years, I got blamed for that until Uncle Lee confessed. True story. But anyway, I don't know why me and my friend decided to go on this holiday. We'd never been on holiday together at that point, and we haven't since. Mainly because he got married and had a child. So obviously when he goes on holiday now, he goes with them. Which is fair enough, I'd do the same. And as for the tent, I have absolutely no idea where that came from. I think Martin had it from somebody. I don't know. Now you have to understand that this is 21 years ago, so a lot of my memory is sketchy and I'm having to rely on the pictures. But there are a few other memories that I do remember. Like for example, as we were going up to Scotland, in fact as we got into Scotland we were going through Glasgow, those motorways I still maintain to this day are ridiculous. You can't navigate them at all. Now I wasn't following a map. What I'd done was I'd written down all the A roads and the B roads and the motorways on this list for us to follow. Now the thing is, it said on my piece of paper the M whatever it was, but it was going two ways. It was splitting off, and I was like, oh, which way do we go? We ended up going the wrong way, so obviously I had to turn around at some point. But eventually we did find where we were going, Loch Lomond. In fact, I have a picture of Loch Lomond. I might as well put it on in the background as well. There we go. Well, as you'll see up here, it's got a date in the corner, the 8th of August 2000. So this is Loch Lomond, where we pitched our tent. Now, my memory is that we stayed for 2 nights, but I don't know because of the dates on the photos. Unless I didn't start taking pictures until the day after we stayed for the first night. Got no clue. Like I said, 21 years ago. This next picture is Lerman Castle, I believe it was called. Let me just confer with my notes in my photo album. Hold on, where is it? Yep, Loch Lerman Castle apparently it's called. I have absolutely no memory of this at all. This next photo is of Loch Lomond itself, where we went for a boat ride. I do vaguely recall that. The thing is, I can't remember if we went to the other side and got off and went somewhere and then got back on afterwards and come back, or we just went to one end and then back again. I do remember we went into the pub for a meal that night. Another photo of us on the loch was a bit choppy. Okay, this one's from the next day. There's my friend Martin. In front of him is my car, which I had at the time, a Nissan Micra, very small. And the tent, that tent, like I said, no idea where we got it from. As you can see, it looks pretty flimsy, and it was. And it was after sleeping in that, we both vowed, well, it was mostly Martin, that we weren't going to camp anymore around Scotland. We were going to go in B&Bs. I was okay with that. This next picture, I remember taking that because I saw that the clouds were coming over the mountain, and that was the first time I'd seen that happen, so I got this picture. Now the next picture I'll be showing in a minute is of a loch that I have no idea where it is, because at the time I had a work colleague, I believe his name was Steve. I haven't seen him in about 15 years now. He left the company that I worked for a long time ago, but he was staying somewhere, I believe in his camper van with his family, so we went to go see him at this loch. You know, the van was right behind us and that was the view that they had. Like I say, not a clue where that was, and we only stayed for, I don't know, an hour or two. If I remember right, he made us coffee and some bacon sandwiches. You know what, I really ought to find out where that is, because after there we'd already packed up the tent and left Loch Lomond to go to Fort William. Now this, well in fact those mountains, this one right here, that's Ben Nevis, and this roof here, that's at the visitor centre. So it was before all these trees had really grown out, I believe. And I don't know if we actually found a B&B before I took this picture. All I remember is that the B&B we stayed in was like the first one as you enter Fort William. I don't remember how we got it. We didn't book anything. We just showed up at a B&B, knocked on the door, asked if you got any room. Yes. So that's how we did that. I don't recollect anything about walking around Fort William. I know we didn't go up Ben Nevis. That's a picture of a mountain. I have no idea which one. I know it's not Ben Nevis. It's not tall enough. But as you can tell, I love taking pictures of mountains. Okay, so this, I definitely know where that is. It's in Glen Nevis. If you saw my vlogs from Scotland, I actually did, with my dash cam, a whole clip of me going up Glen Nevis, the road. And there's a part where I stopped off actually, and I went to have a look at this waterfall going under the road. That was this. So that was the first time I saw that. This is what I'm talking about, where the road goes over the water. How I got this picture, I have no idea, because the last time I was there, I was up on the top and I'm like, how on earth did I get down there to get these pictures? No clue. Mind you, I was only, what, 25 at the time, so I'll have been a bit more limber. And that's just taking a picture of the other side of where I was. I must have climbed down here somewhere, maybe. I have no idea. Old man memory. This was further up Glen Nevis, where I pulled the car over, got out, went to have a look at the river, take a few pictures, or a picture anyway. And this was getting towards the top end of Glen Nevis, where the waterfall comes down and goes under the road. I showed that in the vlogs when I was there last. This castle is a ruined castle in Fort William. I can't remember where that is, so I never found it the last few times I've been there. I just remember me and Martin having a look around it. You didn't have to pay to go in. I just pulled the car up and there it was, and we walked in. But I can't help but feel that it's no longer there, because like I said, I can't find it again, unless I wasn't looking very good. Okay, the next picture, this is the 10th of August. I managed to get Martin to go up in these cable cars. This is me taking pictures of us going back down what I thought was Ben Nevis. I've eventually figured out that it wasn't actually Ben Nevis, it was another mountain. But what I do remember is we went up, went to this restaurant that was there, had a meal which was mega expensive, and then we started coming back down through clouds, as this picture shows. So all the water was hitting the window. However, I believe this picture is me putting the camera through like a latch on the top, through an open window on the top, so I could get a picture. That's why there's all this water on the lens. Same there. After that, we left Fort William, and I remember before we went to Scotland, I asked Martin, was there any one place he wanted to go see? And he said, yes, this place, Island Doonan. a castle made famous from the movie Highlander. The bridge is the place where Christopher Lambert was being forced out of the castle and he got cast out. What I do remember about this, actually two things. One, because the tide was out, everything smelled of seaweed. It was disgusting. It was very horrible. Also, the gift shop, like the restaurant at top of that mountain, was very expensive. What I didn't know, that Island Unum was very close to the Isle of Skye. Yeah, Isle of Skye. In fact, it was just a few more miles down that road and we'd have been there. I had no clue. Here's another picture of the castle as you go over the bridge. I think it's to the right, behind, is where the gift shop is. I guess I went all the way around trying to get more pictures of the castle. It is a beautiful castle though, I have to admit. And I have seen it again when I went with my friends to Scotland in 2016. Okay, here's one of my favourite places on the planet, Loch Ness. Absolutely adore this place. In fact, it was this holiday I fell in love with it. It's alright, I'm just remembering some of the things we got up to. We got to a place called Drumnadrochit. For some reason we didn't go to Fort Augustus. I think because we'd gone from Fort William to, well, sort of, okay, let's pretend this is a map right here. Fort William's about here, and we went all the way to Island Unum and then to Drumnadrochit, and Fort Augustus is sort of here, so we completely bypassed it. I love Drumnadrochit, and this is the reason why, because me and Martin stayed there. Now, finding a place to stay was a hoopla. All the B&Bs in the area were all sold out, but apparently someone who owned a B&B also owned a hotel and offered to give us a room for the price of a B&B. And they said, take this turning and this turning and you'll be there. Yeah, we went completely the wrong way and we were almost into Inverness before I realised this can't be it. Turned around, came back, and eventually we found the hotel, we got the room. And this is the part where my memory is a bit sketchy, because I remember the owners, they said to us, oh, if you go down so and so you can get down to the loch. We were like, oh, okay. For years I've been thinking, did we drive there or did we walk there? I can't remember. But the last time I was there I was trying to find this place right next to the loch, in fact on the loch. I did find a place like it further up, but I wanted to find this because of this. It's not a very good picture, I know, but it's a big rock on the water. And here's the funny story. I decided to climb up on the top of that rock, and that's when I ripped my jeans. Right down the middle. Seriously, just split. Gone. I'm like, oh, come on. Luckily, I had another pair, so I was able to put them on the next day. And here's my friend Martin pretending to be stood on the water. The other thing we did that night was he and I went up to Urquhart Castle just to have a look, but it turns out there's no security, there's no high fencing. In fact, there's just a gate that you can climb over. So we kind of decided to just sneak in and have a look around. I know, naughty. I mean, you couldn't actually go inside the building or anything like that. You could just go around the ramparts and, you know, see walls that have just collapsed and whatnot. The next morning, in fact the entire next day, I have got no photos whatsoever. I don't know why, I can only theorise. And my theory is that because I was using a camera that has a film, I only had so much film left and I was trying to save them for the last day or the last place that we were staying. But I can remember quite a lot of when we went to Aberdeen. I remember we drove through Inverness, didn't even bother stopping to have a look around, we just went straight through Inverness and made our way down to Aberdeen. Got into the city centre and we made our way to a car park to park the car up to go look for a tourist information and ask them where all the B&Bs were. They gave us some places on maps, and so we went back to the car, went out of the car park and started driving around Aberdeen, and then eventually we went past the car park again. I'm like, we've gone in a circle, how have we done that? So we kept on going. 2 more times I did that. So I ended up going around that car park 3 times. I kid you not. Trying to get around Aberdeen is a nightmare. I thought Glasgow was bad. Eventually we found a B&B. I think we knocked on a few doors before we got one. Oh my god. The bed I got, I'll get to that. So we decided we wanted to go out for food, and I somehow found this place where there's a lot of restaurants and there's arcades and it's next to the harbour. I can't remember the name of the place, but we had a lovely meal. I think we went in the arcades, I'm not really sure. But for some reason, every time I go to Aberdeen, I can always find that place, no matter what. I go into the city centre, I get lost. But that place with the restaurants and the arcades, I can find it quite easily with no map. I've never used a map to find it, ever. But anyway, we went back to the B&B that night, and the bed that I had, for some reason one of the boards was missing, so it was concave, which caused me to snore, which irritated Martin no end. He kept like nudging me, kicking me, trying to stop me from snoring. It was at this point we were starting to get a bit irate with each other, so I didn't get much sleep that night, and I don't think he did either. So that didn't help. So anyway, this next picture, we got to Edinburgh, found a B&B on Pilrig Street. That's where I always go now for B&Bs. I think what we did was we did the same thing. We parked at, I think, St James's. I forgot the name. It's a shopping centre. There's a car park, and we found the tourist information near the train station, and they gave us ideas of where to go. Yeah, we got a B&B down there at Pilrig Street. I want to say we wandered around Edinburgh. I can't really remember that day because this says the 13th, which is 3 days after the last picture. So not only did I not take any pictures of Aberdeen, I guess I didn't take any pictures of Edinburgh the first day we were there because we spent 2 nights there. I do remember, because we were getting a bit irate with each other, when we found a B&B and they said that they've only got a room with 4 beds, we were like, we'll take it. So he stayed at one end of the room, I stayed at the other. I mean, we weren't arguing, we were just like rubbing each other up the wrong way sort of thing. So that the next day we decided to go our separate ways just for that day. So I went off to the castle because, as you know, I love my castles. I don't know what Martin did. I think he went shopping. So yeah, I made my way around the castle instead of... at this point in time, I'd not discovered the Royal Mile that you can walk up to get up to the castle. I went round the other way and went up some steps. So obviously I went in the castle, taking pictures, enjoying the experience. I took quite a few pictures actually. I'm not showing all of them because there was quite a lot of the guns and a lot of the walls and whatever else. But I absolutely love being on the top of the castle and looking out over Edinburgh. I mean, all of these things I've explored over the years and discovered that there's a lot more to Edinburgh than just going to a castle and shopping. Yep, more pictures of guns and parts of the castle. I was just exploring it, as you can see. I have found over the years that every time I go to the castle, I find something else different that I've not seen before. It seems to expand every time I go. More close-up shots of the guns, and then I decided to go find the famous one, the 1 o'clock gun, which is this. And I have a fun fact about this picture, and I probably mentioned it in my photographic memories video. There's a little wall here, and I decided to jump up on it, and for some reason, as I did that, the middle of my jeans split right down, and I'm like, what the heck? 2 pairs of jeans did the same thing, just ripped in the middle. So yeah, I eventually left the castle, and the first place I went to was a shop that was selling jeans so I could get some more because I had none left, none at all. And I believe this next picture is the last one. Yep, this was the end of the day. Martin had been out. As you can see, he's on his end bed. Why does it look like there's a bed right here? I remember 4 beds down this way, and I got the end one. I'm sure of it. And I think we left on the 14th of August. So there you go, that was my Scotland holiday 2000. I've got others to talk about in later videos, so I've got plenty more to do. This is going to be a very long video, isn't it? I better finish now. Well, I hope you enjoyed me going down memory lane, and I mean a deep, dark memory lane. It was, like I said, 21 years ago. It's a very long time ago. I still remember it fondly. So does Martin. Yeah, don't worry, we're still friends. But anyway, I'm going to go now. So all that's left for me to say is thank you for watching and subscribing if you have, and liking this video if you did. Until the next time, peace out. Trying to get Martin to go on those cable cars was a task. Took some convincing by me, but eventually he went up with me. And then I think it was May of the following year, 2001, it was in the news that one of those cable cars that we went up in decided to fall off with people in it. Don't worry, nobody died. There were injuries, but I couldn't figure out how this thing had fallen off. But I do clearly remember Martin, when he saw me next, said to me, "Never ever will I be able to get him to go up one of those cable cars ever again." And now that it's 20 years later, he has stuck to his word. I can't figure out why.